A pleasant good evening to one and all, particularly honorable members, honorees, invited guests. Under the rules of the House, invited guests are strangers, but not tonight. You are indeed especially invited, or specially rather, invited guests. You are not strangers tonight. First item on our order paper, as per usual, would be a prayer, and that prayer would be given by Pastor Renesia Huggins of the Wesleyan Holiness Church in St. Paul's Evangelical Association. Pastor Renesia Huggins, please.
Let us pray. Our gracious God, we thank you for this day that you have blessed us with. Father, we acknowledge you as our sovereign God, the creator of our universe. Even now, Lord God, we invite you to lead and direct this evening's proceedings. Father, we give you thanks for the honorees and their hard work and all of what they put in, Lord God, and what they are being awarded and being recognized for this evening. Father, we pray that you would bless each thing that would be said and done, and that at the end, Lord, you would be glorified. Father, we bring the presenters before you, the readers, and even our members of parliament who would be making the presentations to the honorees this evening. We thank you, God, for the appearance, for the show of support, and each person who is gathered here this evening. Have your way this evening, we pray. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Pastor Huggins. Before I ask you to sit, let me greet you all appropriately. It was remiss of me not to do that at the very start. Please be seated.
Mr. Speaker, I rise and seek the indulgence of the Parliament to adopt the order paper as circulated.
Thank you, Honorable Leader of Government Business. This being a special sitting of the National Assembly, it is in fact a formal and official sitting of Parliament. That being the case, the rules of our National Assembly stipulate that once we do not follow a set order paper, once we differ from that, we must have a motion for it to be accepted at the start of any sitting. And so in this case, this being a special sitting, and the fact that we are not following the order paper as per our standing orders, we have had a motion for it to be adopted. And so the question is that the order paper as circulated is adopted. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it. Next item, please.
Messages from the Governor General.
Honorable members, there is a message from His Excellency, the Governor General, and this evening it will be read by Mr. Moriel Knight, who happens to be the president of the SKNYPA, St. Kitts Nevis Youth Parliamentary Association, Mr. Moriel Knight.
Government House, St. Christopher and Nevis, message from the Governor General. Mr. Speaker and honorable members of the National Assembly, 25 most remarkable teens, your parents and guardians, fellow citizens and residents, greetings. I am once again honored to greet you at this special sitting of the National Assembly. Every year as you gather to recognize our youth, I feel a sense of pride, probably because many of our young people are contributing meaningfully to the development of our country. They are not detached from their role in nation building, but are active participants demonstrating their patriotism in several ways of community involvement, whether in their church or the community at large. in the fields of sports or in academia. We are indeed impressed at their innovation, their commitment, and their interest in doing all they can to improve themselves and everyone around them. I have had the opportunity to come to know some of you and applaud you for your true desire to be part of our way forward. Regrettably, so many others cannot be recognized at this time. My special congratulations and appreciation to all for this commendable contribution. Keep steadfast in your well-doing. You will achieve much for yourselves, your parents and guardians, and our country. God bless. Sir S.W. Tapley Seaton, GCMG, CVO, QC, JP, LLD, Governor General, St. Kitts and Nevis, November 2021.
Thank you very much, Mr. Knight, with that message from His Excellency, the Governor General. Next item, please.
Announcements by the Speaker.
Thank you. There are just a few announcements from me this evening. First of all, it's my pleasure to welcome you all here for this special sitting of the National Assembly, where we recognize the 25 most remarkable teens for 2021. In welcoming you this evening, before we get into the meat of what we are going to do, allow me to indicate that I have had an apology from the Honorable Member for Nevis 11, Honorable Alexis Jeffers. He's unable to be here. I've had an apology from the Clerk of the National Assembly, Mrs. Sonia Boddy Thompson, who is unable to be here with us this evening. In terms of the proceedings this evening, I would simply like to indicate that each of you would have gotten a booklet with the profiles of the awardees this evening, and there's quite a bit, the profile is a bit extensive, and so we have asked the readers this evening to do a more condensed form of the profile, so you'll find that the readers will just do a very brief profile, but in your own time, kindly read the profiles of the awardees in their entirety. With respect to our honorable members this evening, I would ask that in your presentation of the awards to the awardees, just prior before presenting the award, that you be mercifully brief this evening. And I'm getting a reaction from our specially invited guest this evening, so I think that is sending a little message. So I would ask honorable members to try to keep it down to a minute or 2 minutes maximum, so you are placed on notice, not by me, but by the audience. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, honorable members, I think we can begin the formal part of the ceremony. No, I'm sorry. There's one other item before we get to that. Madam Deputy Clerk, please.
Statement by Minister. The Honorable John L. Powell will make a statement in his capacity as Minister of Youth.
I recognize the Honorable John L. Powell, member for St. Christopher II, to make the one and only statement by Minister this evening as Minister of Youth.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to address this Honourable House for what is indeed a very special sitting on our parliamentary agenda. Please allow me to greet you, the other Honourable Members of Parliament, parents, and other members of the support group of our awardees, ladies and gentlemen, and most importantly, our 25 most remarkable teens for 2021. The Federal Youth Policy 2017 to 2022 cross-cutting theme number 1 speaks to youth excellence and implores us to recognize the positive and productive lifestyles of young people and their contributions to development at the personal, community, national, and global levels. It is with this theme as a foundation, we recognize 25 of the Federation's most remarkable young persons. This evening, I'm humbled as the Minister of Youth Empowerment to stand in the presence of these 25 inspirations. Mr. Speaker, this evening marks the 11th occasion when we, the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis, share common ground, when we stand unified in our applaud and celebration of our young people. Young people who are creative, principled, industrious, well-educated, skilled, empathetic, community-spirited, service-oriented, and so much more. When the curtains are closed this evening, we will have recognized the 275th remarkable teen since the birthing of this program back in 2011. The young people are powerful leaders of change. They care deeply about our country, understanding the issues we are facing, and know that we have to and can do much better. They serve their communities actively, participate in civic life, and advocate for a fairer, more diverse, and inclusive St. Kitts and Nevis. Over the past year and a half, they have shown incredible strength and determination and made great sacrifices to help keep our communities safe and healthy. Unfortunately, they have also been among the most impacted by the global COVID-19 pandemic, with interruption in their schooling and education and adverse effects on their social and emotional well-being. The late President of India and aerospace scientist, Dr. Abdul Kalam, affirmed, and I quote, "Our young people must have the courage to think differently, the courage to invent, to travel the unexplored path, discover the impossible, conquer their problems, and through all this, the courage to succeed," end of quote. I am comforted by the resilience of our young people, many of whom would have invested much of their efforts in researching and pursuing new hobbies and business ideas. Some have even reshaped their business models to accommodate the changing demands and new normal that we are compelled to live in. While it is indeed true that there are some young persons who walk a path of personal destruction and stand to position themselves as public liabilities rather than valuable assets, it is equally true that this minority is the exception rather than the rule. The Department of Youth Empowerment continues to create avenues for these young people to redirect their paths towards meaningful lives and prosperous futures. One such initiative is SHINE, a mentorship program designed to assist high-risk school-age youth to develop a sense of self-purpose and belonging. The Federal Youth Policy 2017-2022 therefore promotes a major paradigm shift to youth as assets to society and to human growth and development. The successful transition into healthy adulthood involves a dynamic and complex foundation interlacing physical, intellectual, psychological, emotional, and social input. These attributes can be assessed from infancy and are not rites of passage to be acquired when individuals attain the status of puberty or the age range of youth. Youth development is not concentrated in any single sector of our country. The allocation of investments in information, products, programs, opportunities, and services for young people in St. Kitts and Nevis takes place across a range of sectors with diverse strategies, programs, and most importantly, the understanding of young people. The challenge is to combine these sectoral efforts within an integrated national ecosystem that optimizes how we manage and use youth data, how programs are assessed and by whom, how resources are allocated and used, the methodologies, the environments that shape development, how human resources, specifically youth assets, participate in the system. Mr. Speaker, the key to overcoming this challenge is effective engagement of youth, incorporating their voices in the economical, societal, and political sphere to gain insight and perspectives. This principle is a backbone of the department's motto, giving youth a voice, inspire greatness. It is important to embrace the positivity, strength, and talent that exists amongst our youth. For this Youth Month 2021, the young people were afforded opportunities to have their voices heard. On November 11th, a panel of high schoolers gave their views on COVID-19 and vaccination. And then on the 17th, I myself hosted the Ministers' Rap session, where I got the opportunity to dialogue with them on a range of issues. Mr. Speaker, it is my intention to have quarterly rap sessions such as this to keep our youth engaged, speaking with them as opposed to speaking to them or about them. With the assistance of the Commonwealth Secretariat, the Ministry is in the process of reviewing the Federal Youth Policy 2017 to 2022. At that very rap session, the consultant, Mrs. Dwynette Eversley, engaged youth from across the Federation to get their input that will help shape the new federal policy, new federal youth policy that is, 2022 to 2026. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis continues to play its part in ensuring that young people have a voice in the decisions that affect them, even at the highest levels. Earlier this year, youth diplomats were appointed to some August international bodies. Sheldon Henry and Denora Laplace were attached to the permanent mission of St. Kitts and Nevis to the United States in New York, while Janelle Simmons to the Embassy of St. Kitts and Nevis to the United States in Washington, D.C. The recently held COP26 summit on climate change held in Glasgow, Scotland, saw two young nationals in the diaspora, Ryan Phillip and Melissa Bryant, lending their voices to this crucial issue that has global implication. Also taking a seat at that table, courtesy of the Boys Brigade organization, was Vikel Edwards Douglas, a young teacher at the Virchilds High School. They all personified the words of one of the most inspirational leaders, Nelson Mandela, and I quote, "To the youth of today, I have a wish to make. Be the script writers of your destiny and feature yourselves as the stars that show the way towards a brighter future," unquote. Mr. Speaker, permit me to highlight Priority Domain 5 of the St. Kitts Nevis Youth Policy 2017 to 2022, which speaks to the youth as agents of democracy, development, and nation building, with the corresponding policy goal being to integrate and empower young people fully for genuine youth-led action as trusted partners in community, national development, and decision-making. It is often said that young people are the future of any nation or society. Well, this is indeed true. It represents merely a portion of a much larger truth that they are already leading important change today, a reality that is echoed in the theme for Youth Month 2021, Youth, the Future and the Now. Mr. Speaker, in very short order, we will be afforded a glimpse into the remarkable lives so far lived by our young awardees. Tonight, we will be awed by stories of determination and perseverance in the face of overwhelming odds. We will hear stories of commitment to the well-being of the less fortunate and the upliftment of their communities. Stories of ordinary young people doing extraordinary things for the betterment of self and the greater good of our nation. As the nation pauses tonight to witness and salute the most remarkable teams for 2021, it is imperative to highlight that these outstanding individuals are the products of strong and supportive environments, rich with love and encouragement. Hence, allow me to heap gratitude on behalf of the Ministry of Youth Empowerment and the government of St. Kitts and Nevis on the village that nurtured each young person. The village where the parents, assisted by siblings, extended family members, laid the solid foundation with teachers, coaches, community leaders, mentors, peers, and even acquaintances as equally strong pillars of support. They're empowering sources of encouragement, both tangible and intangible, unearth potential in these 25 praiseworthy awardees. In closing, I implore us to liken each young person to building blocks representing each one's diverse attributes. Just like how the individual blocks are pieced together to form a beautiful structure, each of them can contribute in his or her own unique way, thus collectively creating a vibrant society that is youth-centric. With that sentiment resonating in your minds, I take serene satisfaction in presenting the 2021-25 most remarkable teens. May it please you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honourable Member for St. Christopher 2, Janelle Powell. Next item, please.
Public business. This will take the form of the reading of the individual profiles by current CARICOM youth ambassadors and members of the St. Kitts National Youth Parliament Association, followed by award presentations by members of Parliament.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Clerk. Honourable members, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at the point where the presentation of awards would begin. And like I say every year, I'll say it again now, Parliament is indeed a very serious place of business, but on this occasion, each and every year where we award the youths, I wanted to relax. You're free to applaud. It's not normal we do that in Parliament, but for tonight only, you have all the permission to relax, to applaud. I think last year I said you can even scream, but this year I would say you can scream decently. So let me qualify it. Having said that, let's the action begin. I am to call the action, I guess. First up for an award this evening is an award to Mr. Shervin King, who's been awarded for sport. His profile will be read by CARICOM Youth Ambassador, Mr. Dwayne Hendrickson.
Mr. Speaker, with pleasure, I introduce Shervin King. Over the years, Shervin has achieved impressive accolades in football. In primary school, Shervin was the captain of his school's football team. When he joined the Washington Archibald High School, Shervin was later named the captain of his school's under-14 team. His tenure as captain was successful as his team won the championship for that year. Shervin's accomplishments in the sport include being named the best high school male football player of the year in 2019. Similarly, he etched his name into St. Kitts and Nevis football history when he became the first person to be named Most Valuable Player, MVP, for the St. Kitts Nevis Football Association Under-15 and Under-17 Youth Football Leagues. His outstanding play during the 2020 Under-15 St. Kitts Nevis Football Association tournament earned him the MVP award as he scored a whopping 32 goals. Shervin displays an undying love for the sport and aspires to be a professional footballer. Shervin's coach describes him as a high-spirited and self-motivated individual who believes that academics as well as extracurricular activities are key to personal development. It is just a matter of time before Shervin's name is added to the list of successful professional footballers in St. Kitts and Nevis. Until then, Shervin's name is proudly added to the roster as one of the St. Kitts and Nevis's most remarkable teams. May it please you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Dwayne. I'll call on the Honorable Prime Minister and Member for St. Christopher 7 to present.
Mr. Speaker, sir, with your leave, I rise to acknowledge the outstanding career path of Shervin King and to commend him, his parents, his school, and all those who would have tutored and guided him so far. I marveled that this perhaps is the second occasion where the sitting of the Parliament on account of COVID-19 is being held in this beautiful, spacious Rivers Church here in Limekiln. And I want, of course, to thank senior pastors and the leadership for allowing us to be able to do so today. Today, unlike last year, we are coming closer to the end of the tunnel, if you will, in that we are moving out of the shadow of COVID-19. And what is important about that is that as we move out of the shadow of COVID-19, we move to that better future. In fact, that is the expectation. And in line with that, tonight is about young people who represent the real future, the real success for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. In this regard, we must acknowledge from the profile read just now that Shervin King is a success story. Could we give him a hand of commendation for an excellent career path so far in sports? He has a passion for football, we advise, the discipline to stick to it, and of course he has mastered it, as has been outlined in the myriad of achievements that to date form part of his profile. Importantly, Shervin understands that the future requires people who are multitask, well-balanced, and in this regard we have told that already he has mastered the balance between academic excellence and athletic prowess. Indeed, we are told that he has found his own guidance in his own mantra. Balance is not something you find, he said, it is something you create. I want to commend him and to commend all the 25 remarkable teens who are here, for clearly they have come to understand that they have to create their own balance if they are to succeed in the future. May God bless Shervin and all the other honorees tonight. I take pleasure now in presenting him this token of our appreciation for his stellar achievements as one of the 25 most remarkable teens in St. Kitts and Nevis, and in particular for his successes in football.
Thank you very much. Congrats to Shervin. Honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, our next awardee is Mr. Tyree Jeffers. and his profile will be read by SKN Youth Ambassador Mr. Shane Venor.
Mr. Speaker, with pleasure, I introduce Tyreek Jeffers. Tyreek is a well-rounded young man who has excellence etched into his DNA. His excellence in basketball includes being the captain of the Rams Hitters basketball team for the past 7 years, where he successfully led his team to win 2 under-20 and 3 under-17 championships. Being victorious in the local league, Tyreek was selected to represent St. Kitts and Nevis in the Digicel NBA Jumpstart Basketball Camp, which was held in Easter 2018. Tyreek is a natural leader. His ability to work well with others and remain involved in meaningful activities lands him the respect of many persons in his community and school. At the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College, Tyreek is a member of the Student Government Association. In his leisure time, when he's not playing basketball, Tyreek sings in a band known as the Shellings Band. His desire to be a lead singer of this band was unearthed out of his exploits in the Calypso arena. Tyreek has entered several Calypso competitions and even copped a Monarch title when he won the St. Peter's Calypso competition. This was an ecstatic moment for him, as he would have copped several runner-up positions at the National Carnival Junior Calypso Monarch competition from 2017 to 2019. Tyreek works part-time at Rams Cash and Carry, while being a full-time student, and still finds time to dabble in the things he loves to do, which include basketball, handball, volunteering, singing, and leading. Tyreek exemplifies the qualities of a well-rounded young man. Congratulations is extended to Tyreek for being named one of St. Kitts and Nevis's most remarkable teens in the category of most promising. May it please you, Mr. Speaker.
Tyreek will be presented with his award by the Honorable Janelle Powell, Minister of Youth.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. When I saw Tyreek Jeffers' name down as one of our 25 most remarkable teens, I had to smile. And not smile out of surprise, but smiled thinking it's about time. I can't really see him, but I've come to know Tyreek, and every time I see him, he's always smiling and grinning, and full of energy and laughter. But I think what stands out the most in Tyreek's profile is the line that reads, Tyreek is a well-rounded young man who has excellence etched into his DNA. And I think that that is the epitome of Tyreek. I expect great things from him. He has demonstrated that he can excel from sport to music, governance, whatever he puts and sets his mind to. And I implore upon you, Tyreek, to continue to have that mentality, continue to strive in that direction, and continue to be a role model for your peers and younger persons coming behind you. May it please you, Mr. Speaker.
Congrats, Tyreek. Thank you, Honorable Minister Powell. And depends on how well we do it time this evening. If we do it in good time this evening, I may call on Tyreek to give us a few notes, seeing that we're learning he's a senior. But it all depends on how well we do here tonight with time. So that's my commitment to you. So prepare yourself, Tyreek. Next up for an award is Miss Lenny Stevenson, and she is being awarded in the area of spiritual commitment, and her profile will be read by Zonnie Stapleton.
Mr. Speaker, with pleasure, I introduce Lenny Stevenson. As a coveted member of the Word of Life New Testament Church of God, Lenny Stevenson is widely known for her commitment to God at a very young age. At church, Lenny is engaged in many activities. She is the youngest worship leader at her church and is a member of the church's Woman of Worth dance group as well as the Christian dance theater Shekinah. Committed to her ministry and the work of God, Lenny is an avid worshiper and can often be found leading morning devotions at her school and spreading the word of God to her peers. Lenny uses God's word to provide comfort and encouragement to her peers during their time of need. Essentially, Lenny shares her faith with everyone she comes into contact with. At a young age, Lenny was thrown into the perils of life when she lost her father. Lenny recounts the traumatic experience but testifies that she aims to continue her father's legacy in all things. So much so that she often hears his voice saying, "Excellence is key in everything." While the loss was difficult for her to cope with, according to Lenny, it gave her a push and made her stronger. For Lenny, every day she has the responsibility to be a leader, and she can never settle for less. Her commitment to God has fostered his blessings on her, and she knows that God is the creator of all things beautiful. She knows that she is one of God's best creations. Tonight, Lenny is receiving the 25 Most Remarkable Teens Award for Spiritual Commitment. May it please you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Member for St. Christopher 8 will present Mr. Eugene Hamilton.
Mr. Speaker, with your leave, perhaps on the first or second occasion when I presented an award to a remarkable teen, it was to Renisia MacDonald, and it was for spiritual commitment. And today, tonight, we heard her giving the prayer as pastor in her country. And so this evening, as I rise to make this presentation to Lenny, I noticed that Lenny is also one who is spiritually committed, one who believes in serving her God, is a member of the Word of Life New Testament Church of God. She is in fact, the youngest worship leader. She's a member of the church's Women of Worth dance group. She uses the Word of God to encourage people, those especially who need comfort. This is a remarkable thing for a youth, a young person like her, to be so engaged, understanding how faith, how the Spirit is good for those who find themselves in trouble. And so, Renee, as you seek God's Lenny, and so Lenny, as you seek God's face, I know that means that you've turned from any ways that are wicked, and that I know that you pray, and God will answer your prayer. And as He answers your prayer, you will continue to serve those in your federation who need words of wisdom. I trust that you will not depart from those ways as you go through your journey through life until God calls you home. With those words, I take the opportunity to present to you 25 Most Remarkable Teens in St. Kitts and Nevis, November 2021, Delaney Stevenson for spiritual commitment.
Congrats again, Lanny. Thank you, Minister Hamilton. Next awardee is Mr. Jonathan Archibald in the area of Spirit of Hope. His profile will be read by Mr. Jalen Munzak.
Mr. Speaker, with pleasure I introduce Jonathan Archibald. As a true Sandy Pointer, Jonathan loves everything about his school and his community. Jonathan considers himself as a proud ambassador of Sandy Point. At school, he was an athlete and represented his school on several occasions at the inter-high school competition. With true school pride, he assists with setting up the PA system and volunteers to assist in any way he can, and is committed to assisting his school even after graduation. Jonathan recalls having to excel even through difficult times in his life, including when his mom became ill and traveled abroad for spinal surgery. Upon her return to St. Kitts, she was mostly immobile, which meant that Jonathan had to care for his younger sibling and support his mom throughout the recovery process. This was a large responsibility for a teenage boy. However, he never complained. Growing up in Sandy Point is not always easy for a teenage boy. There are many antisocial elements that can lure a teen. However, Jonathan did not fall prey to any negative peer pressure and was committed to being involved in meaningful activities only. Jonathan's commitment to his community, school, and family are to be applauded and allows him to be named one of St. Kitts and Nevis's most remarkable teens in the category of Spirit of Hope. May it please you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Jillian. And Jillian is an SKN Youth Ambassador Corps member. The award to Jonathan will be presented by Deputy Prime Minister Honorable Sean Richards, St. Christopher 5.
Mr. Speaker, this evening, it gives me great pleasure to present this award to Mr. Jonathan Archibald. Mr. Archibald, Mr. Speaker, hails from the Sandy Point community, and he is someone who I happen to know. As a matter of fact, when I think of Mr. Archibald, Mr. Speaker, I can more or less recall him in 4 different capacities. I can see him in his school uniform, going to school. I can see him in his church clothes, sometimes going to church at the Sandy Point Methodist Church, and he has to pass my home to do so, or going to Sunday school again at the Sandy Point Methodist Church. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, from time to time I would also see him in his Boys Brigade uniform, attending the 2nd St. Kitts Boys Brigade, which is housed at the Methodist Church in Sandy Point. Hence, Mr. Speaker, it is no surprise to me that this evening he is being given this award for Spirit of Hope. In my view, indeed, he represents hope for the Sandy Point community, but ultimately for the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. In reading his profile, I am delighted to learn that when his mom was sick, and that I happen to know about in some respect because I was Minister of Education back then, that he indeed took care of her and also his younger brother. The Bible says to honor your father and your mother, that your days upon this earth will be long. And so I do believe that Jonathan has a long life ahead of him. I also note that he has made certain recommendations in regards to the education sector. And again, this award is quite fitting because as we hope for changes in the education sector and as the Ministry of Education has been in the process of doing curriculum reform to bring about some of the very changes, some of the very same innovations that he would like to see come about within the education sector, It says that he's not just a student of the school, but he is thinking ahead in terms of the education system, what he would like to see and what he would like to see other students being able to benefit from. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, it gives me much pleasure, as I said earlier, to present this award for Spirit of Hope to Mr. Jonathan Archibald.
Congrats, Jonathan. Thank you, Honorable Deputy Prime Minister. Honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, we will do a slight amendment in the order of the way the awards are given. I would have gotten an indication from the Honorable Prime Minister, member for St. Christopher 7, before the start of our program, that he has a clash of engagements. And so, on account of that, we will accord him the privilege of making his second and last presentation now, rather than near the end of the program. And on that note, the next awardee this evening is, yes, Mr. Sapphire Matthew, who's been awarded in the category of dance. And again, if we had time tonight, we would have called him back at the end for a little dance, but it all depends on how well we do in time tonight. Sapphire Matthew. Oh, my humblest of apologies to you, Madam Sapphire Matthew. The profile will be read. Have I mixed it up? Sorry.
Sapphire.
The honorary is Sapphire Matthew in the area of dance. Is that correct?
It's Sapphire, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, so it's just, okay, Sapphire. And her profile will be read by Moriel.
Mr. Speaker, it is with great pleasure that I introduce to you Miss Sapphire Matthew. Sapphire Matthew entered into the world of dance from an early age of 3, when her mother enrolled her into her first dance class. From then until now, Sapphire has been dancing her way through life, becoming a dance tutor at just 13 years old at Poise SKN. Throughout her dance career, Sapphire won many dance competitions and awards from her school, dance classes, and the majorettes. For the last 5 years, Sapphire has placed top 3 in her dance exams and eventually topped the first position for the last 4 of those 5 years. Most recently, Sapphire was a part of a team that won a dance competition organized by the Ministry of Culture. Her team, District 11, won an all-expense-paid trip to the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago to participate in Carifesta. Sapphire recognizes that not all persons who are interested in dance will have access to a dance class. So, Mr. Speaker, she hopes one day to launch mini dance workshops for free. She is willing to share her skills and knowledge, as she believes that dance should never be kept a secret. Sapphire takes center stage in more ways than one. However, she will star in this year's edition of the 25 Most Remarkable Teens Award in the category of dance. May it please you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Morel. The presentation to Sapphire will be given by the Honorable Prime Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and thank you too for allowing me permission to make an early exit on account of some competing engagement. But Sapphire, I think, represents what we talk about when Shervin spoke about the balance. Imagine someone dancing their way to life. Imagine the choreography. Imagine the resilience. Imagine the personality who find their rhythm and purpose in good times and bad times. That is what we have in Sapphire Matthew, and we would want to extend to her all the very best as she continue this exciting part of dancing her way to life with all its vicissitudes, its ups and downs. Importantly, though, is that spirit of giving, and at an early age she has committed to give back all that she has in dance and all the other talents, and to give not just liberally and freely, but to give to some of our young people who certainly are in need of an extra portion of love. Her choice of the children's home is particularly important in that regard, and that she would give the little that she would have or would have received in search of an important cause is very, very commendable. And in that regard, I would say that she is a most worthy recipient of this award to be one of the 25 remarkable teens. Could you give her a special round of applause?
Congrats, Sapphire. Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister. Honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, the next awardee up is Miss Cassandra Simmons. Yes, you may applaud. Cassandra Simmons, and her profile will be read by Mr. Moriel Knight, President of the St. Kitts Youth Parliamentary Association.
Mr. Speaker, with pleasure once more, I introduce Ms. Cassandra Simmons. A series of medical issues continue to disrupt Cassandra from leading a normal life. She was born prematurely and without an ear. Throughout her life, however, she was diagnosed with different health issues, including autoimmune deficiency with chronic asthma, lactose intolerance, epilepsy, and sinusitis. Most recently, Cassandra's health declined again when she lost mobility in her leg, resulting in a fall and an epileptic attack. After numerous tests and doctor visits, Cassandra eventually traveled to the United States of America for medical attention, after being told by local doctors that her problem may be neurological. As a result, Cassandra missed months from school and had to catch up on all the schoolwork she missed. She eventually did so and landed a place in 5A1. As if the plight with illness was not enough, Cassandra faced other challenges in her life, including being trapped in a house engulfed with fire when she was younger. Her most recent example of overcoming obstacles was showcased when her mother became ill and was hospitalized and had her left knee amputated. Cassandra's life would be changed forever. Cassandra had to accept responsibility of looking after her younger sibling and was relocated to live with a relative in Sadler's. It was not enough, however, to break her spirit. Cassandra can often be heard saying, and I quote, "Regardless of my troubles, I always get through it," end quote. Cassandra is a gifted leader who enjoys writing and cheerleading. She describes herself as the ultimate geek because of her love for academics. Mr. Speaker, if anyone needed a lesson in overcoming and resilience, he or she should look no further than Cassandra Simmons, a 2021 most remarkable teen in the category of excelling through challenge. May it please
Thank you, Morel. And if I may interject, those are what I call decent screams. Keep it up. I call on the Right Honorable Dr. Denzel Douglas, member for St. Christopher 6, to present.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I obey your command to rise. With pride, joy, and encouragement to salute this gifted young leader because of what she has achieved to date in what I would describe as her very youthful experiences here on earth. When I listened to the profile being read and also walk my way through what has been presented to us, I recognize that this young lady has already demonstrated the following: the power of hope, the power of positive thinking and living, the power of overcoming especially medical challenges, whether they are hereditary or acquired. And not only those which are personal to her, but also those which would have affected her family, especially her mom. Cassandra is being awarded tonight within the broad category of excelling through challenges. Her life story so far must not only impact those of us who are here, but in fact should be heard and should be recommended to all Kittitians and Nevisians, if not all young people in the entire region. And that is why I said it is with pride that I will now present to her this award, which she justly deserves, and which must be used to encourage her to go much further, because I believe we are just seeing the beginning of this young lady as a potential leader in our country. May it please you, Mr. Speaker.
Congratulations again to Cassandra. Each and every year at an event like this, we always have such moving account for one or two of the awardees, and Cassandra falls squarely into that category. Quite a moving account of her life, and we do wish her all the best. Next awardee is Miss Brianna Edwards. Her profile will be read by CARICOM Youth Ambassador, Mr. Dwayne Hendrickson.
Mr. Speaker, with pleasure, I introduce Brianna Edwards. Brianna was born with a rare disorder known as Meyer-Gorlin syndrome, or ear patella short stature syndrome, which means that she has small ears, is small in stature, and has no kneecaps. Brianna underwent 8 major bone and muscle tissue surgeries to both of her legs. 2 of those surgeries took place when she was a baby. Over the years, Brianna developed a passion for dancing and joined the Learning Through the Arts Empowerment Program, LEAP. Dancing can sometimes be painful for Brianna because of the direction in which her knees bend, but she never gives up. She can often be heard saying, "Let's try it another way." At the Washington Archibald High School, Brianna is a proud Washi Wildcat, so much that she joined the cheerleading squad. She volunteered to be thrown in the air during the difficult stunts that were included in the routine. Furthermore, coupling her love for pageantry and a passion for dancing, Brianna entered the Miss Washington Archibald High School Queen Pageant in 2019. That night, Brianna copped the award for Best Talent and earned the first runner-up position. Brianna is always on the precipice of adding chapters to her story of overcoming. The young dancer is not only active in her school, but also in her church. Brianna is actively turning her scars into stars. Brianna exudes confidence, resilience, and talent unmatched to her original prospects in life. Brianna, who intends to become a pediatric nurse, continues to break barriers and blaze a path worthy of recognition and admiration. Brianna's recipe for her future feats is simple: dance above the challenges she faces. May it please you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Dwayne. The Honorable Member for St. Christopher 1, Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, please present.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. It is indeed a moving moment for me this evening to be presenting this award to a brave soldier. One, not because of her size, she is definitely not a walkover. I know her personally, held her as a baby, and she is a go-getter. I am so proud of Brianna, Mr. Speaker, because she brings with her an energy that I gravitate to. As small as she is, she was actively involved in my success at the last general election. She carried out her role and she demanded and commanded me, "Uncle Jeffrey, remember you have to go down the road by this person." She was on top of things. And she has said to me that it is her dream to move from being a pediatric nurse to becoming a pediatrician. And I know she has that in her, and I want to wish her well and the entire family, because there is a supportive family that is behind her. And it gives me great pleasure to present my niece this award this evening, and I was surprised when I got the booklet and saw a niece and a nephew being awarded this evening. It is heartwarming, and I must commend the youth department on the continuation of this award ceremony because 10 years ago I started this ceremony and it is reaching where it ought to be reaching. Thank you very much. May it please you.
Congratulations, Brianna. And all I would add is that I hope Brianna gave Dwayne permission to refer to her as a wildcat. And I hope she gave member for number 1, St. Christopher 1, permission to say that she's Labour. Let's move on. Next up is Miss Anissa Marsham. She'll be awarded in the area of leadership. And her profile will be read by Shane Venner.
Mr. Speaker, with pleasure I introduce Anissa Manchum. At 5 years old, Anissa was facing her fears and breaking barriers when she became a host of ZIZ's radio popular Saturday morning program, Totally for Kids. She hosted this program for about 10 years. Anissa never shies away from an opportunity to help others and give back to her community. At both the Fairchilds High School and the Childs E. Mills Secondary School, Anissa shone brightly as a stellar student, beaming with school pride as she often dedicated her time assisting her school in any possible way. Anissa's leadership and volunteerism journey continued when she enrolled at the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College, where she leads an active student life, participating in several extracurricular activities at the college, including the CFBC Student Government, CFBC's Choral Ensemble, CFBC Lab Rat Science Club, CFBC Business Society, and CFBC Adorables College Cheer Group. With altruism, grace, humility, and perseverance combined, Anissa has etched her name into the history books as one of St. Kitts and Nevis's most remarkable teens for her excellent examples of leadership and volunteerism. May it please you, Mr. Speaker.
Shane, thank you very much for that. Anissa will be presented award by the Honorable Member for St. Christopher for Mr. Lindsey Grant.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise this evening to lend my voice to the proceedings and to lend my voice to the awardee this evening, Anissa Marsham's award. I must say, Mr. Speaker, that the Marsham name is a significant name in the Half-Witry and Godwin community. And if one is au fait with that community, one would recognize that the rubric under which Anissa is being presented the award this evening, the rubric of leadership and volunteerism, is not new to the Marsham family. That family is known for their leadership qualities, known for their extensive volunteerism, And so I find it quite pleasing that Anissa has joined those two significant areas, not only in the development of St. Kitts and Nevis, but in one's own personal development. And if on perusal of the document in my hand this evening, I recognize that she has spanned the gamut of leadership and volunteerism in her very own way, both at the Fairchilds High School and the Charles E. Mills Secondary School. From the choir to the Scaspers Best in Class to the ensemble, she has been there. She followed through at the CFBC with a number of engagements, both in the choral ensemble, the science club, the business society, and other things, Mr. Speaker. And I believe it augurs well not only for her in her own personal development, but also for the country at large, because these two areas are areas that are not normally young people would gravitate to. And so I'm very pleased that Anissa is a leading force in these areas. And so, Mr. Speaker, it gives me great pleasure to present the award tonight to Anissa as one of the 25 most remarkable teens in St. Kitts and Nevis for 2021 in the area of leadership and volunteerism. So it is my pleasure, Mr. Speaker, to present this token of our appreciation.
Congrats again, Anissa. Thank you, Honorable Minister Grant. Honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, next awardee up is Miss Maya Alexander. I'm sorry? Mia. Oh, I said Maya? Okay. Mia. Is Miss Mia Alexander? Yes. She'll be awarded in the area of Beacon of Hope, and her profile will be read by Miss Zonnie Stapleton.
Zonnie, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Zonnie. I like that. I like that. Zonnie, please.
Mr. Speaker, with pleasure, I introduce Miss Mia Alexander. Mia devotes a significant amount of her time volunteering. Her leadership mentality developed at an early age in primary school, where she was student government president for 2 years. At the Gingerland Secondary School, she was involved in several extracurricular activities. At her church, Mia attends youth fellowship and prayer meetings. She volunteers with the church occasionally to assist the elderly in her community. Now, a student of the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College, Mia is a social affairs secretary for the student government. In keeping with her love for volunteerism and leadership, Mia joined the Debate Society and History Club at CFPC. She was also a youth parliamentarian for 3 years. The aspiring young teen received the Girls Empowerment Group Award for Most Helpful. Mia is a strong advocate for student involvement. She credits much of her success to her involvement in extracurricular activities. Mia strikes a perfect balance between community involvement and academia through her passion for dance and visual arts. Mia is also an artist who paints and draws and even helps children in her community to improve their skills in art. In her spare time, she dances with the Elite Dance Theatre, where she is a proud member of the Elite Stars. Mia works hard, has a kind heart, and a conscious mind. She is optimistic and fearless. The future is bright for this promising youth who has diligence, motivation, and dedication, which warrants her for being named one of the Federation's most remarkable teens in the category of Beacon of Hope. May it please you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Stapleton. In the absence of the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, the Honorable Mark Brantley will present.
May it please you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it gives me great pleasure to rise on this yet another occasion where we reward our most remarkable teens, to present this award to Mia Alexander. As I look at the profile, and indeed as I heard the profile read, the shortened version, there's a longer version of the program, I was impressed that it appears that Mia has been involved in almost everything. Student government, she's involved in the church, she has involved herself in terms of leadership in the community, volunteerism, and I'm very, very impressed to hear that she intends to be our country's first forensic psychiatrist. Mia, I want to congratulate you. I want to extend to you our warmest appreciation, and indeed to all of our young people who are here tonight to be celebrated quite properly for their Herculean efforts on behalf of themselves, certainly, but also on behalf of their families and their communities. I can say for myself that sitting here this evening and listening to some of these profiles, the experience that I've had is one that I would say I've been humbled. I am humbled to know that we have young people of this caliber here in our country. And I'm humbled to know that because we have young people of this caliber, that St. Kitts and Nevis will be in safe hands. It therefore gives me pleasure to present to Mia Alexander this token of recognition as one of the 25 most remarkable teens in St. Kitts and Nevis for 2021.
Congratulations again, Mia. Thank you, Honorable Brantley. Mr. David Walters is the next awardee. He'll be awarded in the area of courage and courage to overcome. And Mr. Jalen Munza will read his profile, a synopsis of his profile.
Mr. Speaker, with pleasure, I introduce David Walters. In 2017, David was diagnosed with osteosarcoma, better known as bone cancer. His life changed dramatically from an active summer to months of chemotherapy, surgeries, and physiotherapy. Being diagnosed at 11 years old meant that many aspects of his life had to change. David, his mother, and his sister all relocated to New York, where he enrolled in a new school and balanced a life of school and chemotherapy sessions. David used the arts to help him to navigate through this difficult time. He wrote a song entitled "We Are" to inspire others battling cancer. According to David, he wanted to write a song that would inspire others who are currently suffering from cancer and/or any other illnesses to stay strong and believe. In addition to music, David also wrote stories as an outlet for his pain. His story, Meshabat, The Origins, was published in the HIT magazine. His academic success continued while abroad. At school, he was a stellar student, having completed grades 6 and 7 with top honors. When David finally returned to St. Kitts in 2019, he resumed normal activities at various summer camps and used his downtime to review the lessons he missed while abroad. David, now 15 years of age, is enrolled at the Washington Archibald High School. During his first year, he earned a spot on the honor roll and principals list and received the 2019-2020 Charles A. Gumbs Mathematics Award for Class 2A1. David loves animals and the environment so much that he inspires to be a veterinary doctor. In David's words, I wake up and say, "You can do this. You have gone through a lot and you have overcome." Congratulations is extended to Mr. David Walters on being named one of St. Kitts and Nevis's most remarkable teens in the category of Courage to Overcome. May it please you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Jalen. The Honorable Minister Wendy Phipps will present the award to David.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This award presentation is something that I feel particularly privileged at being able to do this evening. When I got the package yesterday and I looked through the names and looked at the corresponding members of Parliament who should read something and provide an exhortation of sorts to the young awardees here tonight, and I looked at the name of the person who I should be doing that honor for, a bunch of coincidences began occurring to me. The first was his name, David Walters. David Walters is also the name of one of my former UVI classmates. The other person I knew with the name David Walters. And for those of you who are familiar with UVI and with David, you know him as Tico. However, the other thing that jumped out at me with this young man is that my family, to be more specific, my sister would have had a relationship with the young man. And to be specific, I think she is his godmother. I was aware of his story, but I would have never met him on paper and then subsequently until tonight. And based on what I have read and what I would have known over the years in terms of his challenges, he's a young man with a lot of potential, a young man who has overcome adversity, who has been able to battle cancer and so far has been able to win. Osteosarcoma is something that hits children perhaps maybe no earlier than their mid-teens, but in his case, it hit him at age 11. What he has demonstrated thus far is the ability to dig deep and to use adversity to build resilience, to build strength, and to build determination. And to show all of us that even though cancer, as one of the leading causes of death in St. Kitts and Nevis, as part of the bigger group NCDs, is a major problem, that he can come out and be a spokesperson for young people, and to also remind us that cancer is not a respecter of persons, but you can overcome, but it starts in the mind and it continues in the heart. And based on the little I have known of this young man over the years, through my sister and on paper, I can tell you that he has the strength in his mind and in his heart. I wish him every success in his future ambitions of becoming a doctor of veterinary medicine. And I am pleased to present this award to you, David Walters, Jr.
Congrats again, David. Thank you, Minister Phipps. The next awardee is Miss Zaria Walters. Could someone correct me, please? Zaria. Z-A-R-A-H, Zaria. I'm corrected. Is Zaria Walters, and she'll be awarded in the area of Spirit of Hope. And Mr. Moriel Knight, again, will read her profile.
Mr. Speaker, it is with pleasure I introduce Ms. Zaria Walters. Zaria Walters is an example of overcoming adversity by developing a spirit of hope. The future fashion designer and top student cherishes her role as a big sister. She became worried when she learned that her brother was diagnosed with bone cancer in his right leg. Zaria, in her early teenage years, now had to assume added layers of responsibility while her brother was unwell and had to remain in New York for chemotherapy sessions. Zaria spent months apart from her mother and brother and remained enrolled at Washington Archibald High School, where she continued to excel academically. Zaria relocated to New York to be with her mother and brother, and she recalls that moving to New York was not an easy step, but she knew that she had to provide emotional support to her brother, who always was in pain. In New York, Zaria enrolled at a new school and had to make new friends. This was not always an easy task, but she boosted up her confidence to do so. Mr. Speaker, Zaria was happy to be in New York with her brother to provide him with the emotional support he needed to complete his final stages of chemotherapy. In no way does she feel like her life was inconvenienced because of her brother's illness. She knew that the goal of her mother and herself were to assist David as he fought off this cancer. In 2019, Zaria returned to St. Kitts to resume her normal life as a teenager. And in no time, Zaria was back at school, acing her lessons, and performing exceptionally well. Zaria's academic achievements included earning a spot on the principal's list and the honor roll for passing all subjects throughout the school year. Mr. Speaker, the multifaceted teenager excelled in sports, spelling bee competitions, and other extracurricular activities such as music, particularly steel pan and piano, girls' guides, and dance. In dance, she won an award for being the most disciplined dancer at the Poise Eskin Institute of Dance. Similarly, she holds a leadership position at the 12th St. Kitts Girls Guides and is a member of her church's youth group. There is no telling what's next for Zaria Walters. However, her track record shows that she will excel in anything she attempts, and that's what makes Zaria Walters one of St. Kitts and Nevis' most remarkable teams. May it please you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Morrell. The Honorable Attorney General, Mr. Vincent Byron Jr., will present to Ms. Walters.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I rise with your leave to add my voice to this wonderful evening when we in St. Kitts and Nevis celebrate 25 remarkable teens, future leaders of our country, and who are leaders in their own right. And I rise to pay tribute to a young lady, Zaria Walters, who is being honored this evening for Spirit of Hope. Hope that we can always overcome, hope we can excel when adversity plagues us. And I want to say a special word as I rise, because to her mother and her family, for all of these remarkable teens, family support is obviously what makes them who they are. And we want to say a special word to all of us who are here to support your family members. But in particular, a special word for Zaria's mother, who has had this evening her two children, first David and now Zaria, being recognized as two remarkable teens here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Zaria obviously is a special lady. Svelte, as you have seen her, elegant. She grew up doing dance, and I note that as far back as the year 2012, which is not in her profile, that she was able to be placed in the top 3 members of the Leap dance group, because she's been dancing forever, at a boot camp of ballet and jazz solo challenge way back when she was a young lady. And so she has grown, she continues to dance, she excels in sports, in athletics, she also is involved in a whole range of stuff, but she also finds time to excel at her academics. And she has been named, like her brother, to the principal list and honored for being a top student at the Washington Archibald High School. We want to wish you well as you work towards your future endeavor to be a fashion designer. And clearly, the world is your oyster. You can be anything you want to be, Zaria. But we want to, this evening, celebrate with you as you are regarded and recognized as one of the 25 most remarkable teens in St. Kitts and Nevis. May it please you, Mr. Speaker.
Congrats again to Ms. Walters. Thank you, Honorable Attorney General. The next awardee is Mr. Could someone help me with the name, please? Tiger? Tiger, okay. Good. Mr. Tiger Brown is the next awardee, and he'll be awarded in the area of sports. And his profile will be read by Mr. Dwayne Hendrickson.
Mr. Speaker, with pleasure, I introduce Tiger Brown. Tiger Brown loves cricket. An active and overzealous Tiger broke his leg at 4 years of age during a bike stunt. To his disappointment, Tiger learned that he will never be able to play cricket again. Although this news was devastating, Tiger defied expectations and continued to play cricket, even knowing that it would cause pain to his knee. He just couldn't imagine what a life without cricket would look like. Cricket was his passion, so much so that his primary school coach referred to him as all things cricket. Cricket is a vital part of Tiger's life, and in everything that he does, he incorporates cricket. He practices his strokes when taking out the trash, heading to class, and even walking to church. His teachers recalled that as soon as Tiger arrived at school, he would head straight to the playfield to play cricket. Every moment outside of the classroom was spent on the field practicing his bowling techniques. Tiger began playing cricket at 8 years old while in grade 3 at the Elizabeth Pemberton Primary School, having been introduced to cricket by his father. Tiger played as captain of the cricket team at grades 5 and 6 and led his team to victory in his final year, while capturing the titles of most valuable player and the best bowler of the Nevis Primary School's championships in 2016. Tiger has captained his Nevis under-13 team, played for the under-15 team, and he currently plays for the Brownhill adult cricket team. At a recent concluded Nevis Cricket Association 10-10 tournament, Tiger was awarded man of the match on 3 different occasions and contributed to his team's victory in the championship. Although cricket is the sport of choice in Nevis, Tiger believes that the sport is on the decline. As such, he dedicates a significant amount of his time teaching players younger than himself about the rules of the game. He dreams of one day becoming an international cricketer. Tiger has shown tremendous commitment to cricket, and his desire and drive solidifies his selection as one of St. Kitts and Nevis's 25 most remarkable teen in the area of sports, that being cricket. May it please you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Dwayne. The Honorable Member for St. Christopher 10, Mr. Eric Evelyn, will present. What did I say? I'm sorry. I hope it's not getting late into the night already for me. Honorable Evelyn.
Mr. Speaker, with your permission, I rise to make this presentation to Mr. Tiger Brown. Of course, we would have heard from the profile what a passionate person he is with regards to cricket. And as a cricket administrator on Nevis, I am particularly proud that I'm given this opportunity to make this presentation to Tiger. Of course, we know that Nevis has been placed on the map by cricketers. And unfortunately, over the years, we have seen a decline with regards to cricket, not only in Nevis and in the Federation, but in the West Indies as well. And so we on Nevis and in the Federation and in the West Indies, we're looking for committed and dedicated players and leaders. And from what I've seen in this profile, I see that in young Tiger. Tiger is originally from my constituency, but he has migrated to the constituency of the Honorable Mark Brantley. So Tiger, when you're ready to come back, we're happy to welcome you back to St. George. I also noticed that you play for Brownhill. And if you get tired, I will be happy to welcome you to my team that is based in Hanley's Road. But I am particularly proud to see how passionate Tiger is, and Tiger is someone who represents resilience and commitment and passion. We've heard how he got injured, but that did not stop him. He has grown up very fast, and so Tiger, I want to congratulate you. I want to congratulate your parents and all of your relatives, and your proud mom and your proud sister are here, so I congratulate them as well. And I believe with your passion and with your commitment, I believe that you probably one day will make it to the West Indies team. So, congratulations, and I look forward to supporting you when you make it to Nevis, the Leewards, and the West Indies team. Congratulations.
Congrats, Tiger. Thank you, Honorable Evelyn. The next awardee is Miss Shamali Newton. That's what you call a wake-up call, a wake-up scream rather. In entrepreneurship, and Mr. Shane Venner will read her profile.
Mr. Speaker, with pleasure, I introduce Shamali Newton. At 17 years old, Shamali Newton owns 3 businesses: Glam by Sham Makeup Artistry, Glam Closet, and Shamali's Lunch on the Go. She first became a business owner at the age of 14 when she opened her makeup artistry business. Shamali is most proud of her online business, Glam Closet, which she sells ladies' clothing, accessories, and party decorations. According to Shamali, her businesses have grown tremendously and has enabled her to assist her family financially. Shamali's Lunch on the Go is a social entrepreneurship initiative where she uses her love for cooking to prepare meals for the elderly on Fridays. According to Shamali, she doesn't like sitting around and loves a new challenge, and as such, she uses her off days from college to do something positive. Shamali's independence and success as an entrepreneur can serve as motivation to any teen aspiring to launch his or her own business. Her time consciousness and proactive spirit are a part of Shamali's recipe for success. It is only a matter of time before Shamali expands her small businesses into medium-sized enterprises. But until then, Shamali's success story continues today as she is named one of St. Kitts and Nevis's most remarkable teens in the category of entrepreneurship. May it please you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Shane. The Honorable Mark Brantley, member for Nevis 9, will present.
Mr. Speaker, may it please you, as you would have no doubt noted from the sole person that applauded in the audience, that this young lady and her family are well known to me and very close to me. They live in my constituency, and I've been very proud of Shamali for a very long time. I've watched her grow and develop. I'm very, very well aware of her business acumen and instincts. And to be quite honest, Mr. Speaker, with a mother like hers, I expect that she's going to get very far. Because she comes from a family that is going to push her to excel. And I've been very, very impressed with this young woman. I have watched her develop. I have seen her proactive nature. I have seen her enthusiasm. I have seen, Mr. Speaker, her capacity for business. And I just want to say that that is something that I think that we need to see more young people get involved in. At 17, owning 3 businesses that are doing well, that are contributing to her family, and that we expect will expand in due course, is simply remarkable. And I feel that more young people need to be like Shamali, get themselves involved in this type of activity, get themselves acquainted with the intricacies of business that will allow them to work for themselves and be their own bosses. I think that that is an important lesson. Shamali, I'm very proud of you. I think you know that already. And I'm delighted that I've been given the opportunity to present to you. Now, I should say, Mr. Speaker, that I saw an earlier version of the program, and somebody else was presenting Shamali's award. And I knew that that would not be acceptable. So I am happy that the program was adjusted and that I've been given this distinct honor this evening to present to Shamali Newton this award for entrepreneurship as one of 2021's St. Kitts and Nevis most remarkable teams. That's Shamali's mom there? Okay. Well, congratulations to Shamali. Congratulations to Shamali's mom before I get in trouble. Thank you, Honorable Mark Brantley.
Nyla Richards is up next for her award. And her profile will be read by Miss Stapleton. The last time I introduced Miss Stapleton, when I called her name, was it Zoni? Zone, I realized she was ready for me.
No.
Anyhow, to speak up, they call me name wrong tonight, I'm going to be afraid to correct him right away. So I'm using Miss Stapleton. You may read the profile.
Mr. Speaker, with pleasure, I introduce Nyla Richards. At 13 years old, Nyla Richards is blazing a path that other young people can emulate. Nyla dedicates a considerable amount of time to others. She is a staunch advocate for mental health awareness among teens. After learning that one of her friends were raped, Nyla dedicated her time to helping her friend not to take her own life after becoming very overwhelmed by the traumatic experience. Nyla plans to continue to help teens with mental health challenges. Against this backdrop, she is already making plans to create a parent-approved safe space for children where teens can visit when they need space away from everyone else. Through this initiative, the teens will have access to a mentor to discuss homework and issues affecting them. She believes that this safe space will be effective simply because teens want someone their age they can relate to and feel comfortable with. In addition to her passion for mental health awareness, Nyla is deeply committed to God. She is an active member of the St. Peter's Anglican Church and attends the Anglican Young People Association, AYPA. Nyla is always finding ways to give back, even to her church. She recalls winning $800 in a competition and giving back 10% of her winnings to her church. When not busy with homeschooling, helping friends with their problems, or giving back to her church, Nyla attends piano lessons at Huldah Lawrence School of Music and attends dance class at the Children's Dance Theatre. She also assists her moms with the family cake business, Nyla's Streets. Nyla is receiving the 25 Most Remarkable Teen Award for being one of St. Kitts and Nevis's most promising youth. May it please you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Ms. Stapleton. The Senator opposite, the Honorable Dr. Joel Clark, will present.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Indeed, I'm honored to have this privilege of presenting this award to Nyla. Having the courage to overcome challenges in your own life is impressive. But having the courage and selflessness to help others overcome challenges in their lives is remarkable. Nyla, you are joining a greater global movement to normalize conversations about mental health. It is also noteworthy that today, on the 25th of November, you are being awarded as one of the 25 most remarkable teens, and it is also the day when everyone across the world is celebrating the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. And you have done your part in speaking to and helping your friend with sexual violence against women. This is impressive. This is commendable. This is remarkable. Providing support to loved ones, being someone who's willing to give of their time, to be still active in church, in dance, and having a business. Nyla, we can go on and on. You are impressive, you're remarkable. Congratulations, and God bless.
Congrats, Nyla. Thank you, Honorable Dr. Clark. Honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the next awardee is Mr. Rafiq Mawson in the area of scholar athlete, and Jalen Munzak will read his profile.
Mr. Speaker, with pleasure, I introduce Rafiq Martin. 17-year-old Rafiq is a student athlete whose day starts as early as 4 a.m., where he begins training at the Kim Collins Stadium with his coach. He then hurries home in preparation for the start of the school day. As an athlete, Rafiq is an all-rounder. He competes in the long and high jump, middle distance, and marathon races. He even played football while at the Immaculate Catholic Conception School, ICCS. Rafiq enjoyed participating in track and field while at the Washington Archibald High School, and he was the school's top athlete and team captain, a position he held with great pride. From as early as primary school, Rafiq always won a medal at the inter-school competitions. His track and field career catapulted in 2018 when he won the silver medal in the under-15 boys 400-meter event at the Caribbean Union of Teachers Games in Bermuda. Rafiq was overjoyed. Later in 2020, Rafiq was a member of an elite squad of athletes selected to train for the upcoming 2020 Carifta Games. In addition to track and field, Rafiq dominated in the classroom. At the ICCS Primary School Division, he was the salutatorian for his year. He recently completed his studies at the Washington Archibald High School, where he sat 9 CSEC subjects. Rafiq is a consistent honor roll student who had already obtained 4 CSEC subjects before reaching 5th form. Rafiq is as committed and accomplished as a student as he is as an athlete. Determined, ambitious, confident, and hardworking are just a few words to describe Rafiq Mawson. In addition to his long list of scholastic and athletic accolades, he now owns the record of being one of the St. Kitts and Nevis most remarkable teams. May it please you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Jalen. The Honorable Senator Dr. Bernicia Nisbet will present the award to Mr. Morrison.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With your leave, I would like to present Mr. Rafiq Mawson. Harry Sheehy once said, "It is your response to winning or losing that makes you a winner or a loser." Rafiq, tonight you're being honored for your hard work and dedication that has made you a winner. You were raised by your aunt at the age of 6 when you emigrated from Antigua to St. Kitts. She describes you as a humble, soft-spoken, and a very intelligent young man. She recalls the days you had to wake up early in the mornings to go to training before you go to school. Rafiq, I know that wasn't easy then, but it is worth it now. After reading your profile, I can now join the chorus with your aunt, coach, friends, and families to sing your praises. I do not know you. I do not know anything about you, but I admire you. You are a go-getter. You excelled in academics, obtaining 13 CXC subjects, and dominated the athletic arena, winning medals from primary school zonal meets all the way to the Caribbean Union of Teachers Games. And when I tried to find more information about you, what I learned was that you dominated the 400 meters and the long jump competitions. It is accurate what is written here about you. You are determined, ambitious, confident, and hardworking. Congratulations to you for being awarded in this category. You are a true definition of what a most remarkable teen is. I wish you continued success on your journey to greatness. I also learned that you want to be a pilot. So, I wish you all the best in that endeavor. Mr. Speaker, with your leave, I wish to present Mr. Rafiq Martin this award for the 25 most remarkable teen in St. Kitts as a scholar athlete.
Congratulations, Rafiq. Congratulations also to the lady who has repeatedly said, I love you. Your mom. Congratulations are in order. And thank you, Honorable Senator Nisbet. Mr. Jadel Prentice. Jadel Prentice. Don't be afraid to correct me. Correct me right away. No problem. Mr. Jadel Prentice. And Mr. Morrell Knight will read his profile.
Mr. Speaker, it is with great pleasure that I introduce to you Mr. Jadel Prentice. Jadel became an entrepreneur at the mere age of 15 years old. 3 years later, Jadel is still the owner of the small business Unplugged Designs, where he produces graphic design work for clients. For Jadel, his pathway to becoming an entrepreneur began with one idea, which resulted in him creating a graphic label called BRAP, an acronym for Be Real, Authentic, and Positive. The business grew tremendously and now not only includes designs, but also t-shirt printing, labels, and other clothing items. With only 18 years under his belt, Jadel is a visionary. He constantly thinks about how he can expand his ideas and grow the business. According to Jadel, and I quote, I always have a vision and ideas. I'm always thinking of new ways to do and achieve something, end quote. For Jadel, Unplugged Design means more to him than making a profit. He uses his business to carry out advocacy work and influence others. And he often donates a portion of the revenue made from his design to breast cancer awareness. This is something, Mr. Speaker, that he does proudly in celebration of his aunt, who is a breast cancer survivor. Jadel Prentice emerged from humble beginnings in the Buckley's community, and apart from being a full-time entrepreneur and student, Jadel, who was raised by his mother, is deeply rooted in his community and uses his goal-driven desire to become the best version of himself, to encourage his peers to aspire to greatness. Jadel can often be found helping the youth population in his community with homework or tutoring them in preparation for exams. Mr. Prentice firmly believes that leadership includes allowing others to paint their own path, and he is often heard saying that you have to teach those who follow you to become better than you are. Mr. Speaker, all in all, Jadel is a tremendous young man who has shown that his best is yet to come. His drive and courage to break social norms, despite events that could have derailed his youth, earned him the honor of being named a remarkable teen in the category of entrepreneurship. May it please you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Knight. The Honorable Akila Byron Nisbet, member for St. Christopher III, will present to Mr. Prentice.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And tonight, at this special sitting of Parliament to honor our 25 most remarkable teens. For the years that I have been doing it, this is the first year that I can say I personally know so many of the teens who are awarded tonight. 3 since they were babies, and 2 I had the privilege to work with. Jadel is one of those who I've known since he was a baby, and I'm so proud to see him sitting here. I think the write-up aptly describes Jadel, and further, I would like to add that I know him to be a very focused, articulate, goal-oriented, and something that I know his mom Sharon has to go back and forth at school sometimes and at other places. His willingness to respectfully challenge the status quo to create awareness and change. He's an analytical thinker, and he is a very active member of the Zion Youth Ministries and his church in general. I know him to be an individual who loves his family and is very close to his mother, Sharon. And so it's with great pleasure this evening that I present to Jadel this very prestigious, I call it, award or recognition for one of the 25 most remarkable teens in the category of entrepreneurship. Congratulations, Jadel, and I look forward to all your future successes.
Congrats again, Mr. Prentice. Thank you, Honorable Byron Nisbet. Now, the next award is being presented to Miss Janelle Thomas. And her profile will be read by Mr. Dwayne Hendrickson, CARICOM Youth Ambassador.
Mr. Speaker, with pleasure I introduce Janelle Thomas. Janelle Thomas's life changed significantly when she became a teenage mother at the age of 17. Now, Janelle is primarily focused on raising her son and paving the way for a positive future for him. Before coming pregnant, Janelle led a normal teenage life, being an active cheerleader, captaining her school's netball team, dancing in church, and participating in inter-school championships as a field athlete. Janelle recalls how disappointed she was in herself for becoming pregnant. Through it all, Janelle has never stopped smiling, and she is grateful for the support she received from her parents and church family. She knew that many teenage mothers were abandoned during their pregnancies, but she was happy to have had the support she needed, and this has been the source of her joy. Janelle has her eyes set on becoming an interior designer and opening a real estate agency. She has already started taking the steps to accomplish this goal. After her pregnancy, she returned to school and sat 10 CSEC subjects, with technical drawing and information technology being her favorites. She enrolled at the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College Technical and Vocational Education Division to complete an associate degree in architectural design. While Adrianelle may have hit a slight detour in life, she has always held her head high. She knows that there is so much that she can achieve, and has dedicated everything to her son. With such bravery and courage to remain positive through a difficult situation, Adrianelle is worthy of being named one of St. Kitts and Nevis's most remarkable teens. May it please you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Dwayne. The Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, Member for St. Christopher 5, will present to Ms. Thomas.
Mr. Speaker, it gives me pleasure to rise once more, and this time to present to Ms. Janelle Thomas. Mr. Speaker, quite often in life, we have a number of successes. And as we have those successes, Mr. Speaker, there are persons around us who give us the necessary support, who celebrate with us, and who are proud of us. However, at times we have circumstances that befall us, and the very same persons who we expect to give us support, especially at a time when we truly need it, those persons don't rise to the occasion. Instead, we are ostracized, we are frowned upon, and we are marginalized by persons. If perhaps we are to take those persons to heart, Mr. Speaker, our life can take a different direction. In the case of Ms. Thomas, certainly she had the courage, Mr. Speaker, to overcome. She would have ignored what persons were saying when she became a teenage mother, and she looked to her parents, but I think most importantly, Mr. Speaker, she looked within and she found the courage to continue and to tell herself that despite her circumstances, that she still has a bright future ahead of her. Indeed, we have seen that bright future because she has gone on to pass 10 CXC subjects. She is now enrolled at CFBC, where she is on a positive path towards achieving her career goal of becoming an interior decorator and to own her own real estate company. This evening, I congratulate her, and I said to her that I have absolutely no doubts that you will be successful. As you continue to strive, remember, you're not only doing this for yourself anymore, but you now have a son that you have to be a positive role model for. And someday in life, you will be able to look back and to show your son from your own personal example that indeed he too can be a success.
Nice. Congrats, Ms. Thomas. Thank you, Honorable Deputy Prime Minister. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's a name here I'm going to try my best. Give me the opportunity, that's all I ask. The next awardee up is Miss Tiwaneek Davis. I got it wrong? Oh, it's Ty. Oh, Tajanik. Tejanik. Yes. My apologies. I'm not, trust me, I do not mean to make fun of the names, but I struggle at times. So let's start again. Yes. Next awardee up is Miss Davis, and she will be, her profile will be read by Mr. Shane Venner.
Mr. Speaker, with pleasure, I introduce Tejanik Davis. Enraptured by her love for dance, Tejanik has a long list of accomplishments worthy of celebration in this year's 25 Most Remarkable Teen program. Tejanik is a naturally talented dancer who credits much of her success in life to the art form. She believes that dance provides her with many exceptional opportunities for which she is forever grateful. Tejanik's dance tutor quickly identified her leadership skills and passion for dance and afforded her the opportunity to become a dance tutor at Firefly's Dance School. At first, Tejanik was astonished. She never quite imagined she would become a dance tutor at such a young age. However, she did not doubt herself and readily accepted the opportunity to become a tutor. As a tutor, Tejanik is always prepared for lessons and considers it a privilege to be able to inspire the future generation of dancers. She is always prepared to show her students new moves, as she believes that one can only excel when they are pushed beyond their boundaries. At 17 years old, Tejanik is already impacting the dance community in St. Kitts. She is a member of the Children's Dance Theater, tutor at Firefly's Dance School, past member of the Washington Archibald High School cheerleading squad, and the Keon Church of God Mime Ministry. Where there is dance, there is Tejanik, and as such, it has become no surprise when she continued dancing when she enrolled at the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College and choreographed the dance selection done for the institution's 2020 graduation ceremony. Tejanik hopes to expand her love for dance into a career and aspires to become a lawyer and a professional dancer. Tejanik's possibilities are endless, and her track record so far indicates that she will conquer every stage. May it please you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Venner. Tejanik will be presented award by the Right Honorable Dr. Denzel Douglas.
Thank you again, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to present the award to this fantastic lady, Tejanik Davis. In fact, her profile begins like this. Enraptured by her love for dance, Tejanik has a long list of accomplishments worthy of celebration in this year's 25 Most Remarkable Teen Program. And so she is being celebrated and awarded under a one-word theme, dance. She is naturally talented as a dancer, and dance has brought her success so far in her life, we are told. She has also been given exceptional opportunities. In fact, she has become a dance tutor in several areas. Dancing has brought her inspiration. It has brought her awards and personal advancement. Dance, we're told, brings her creativity, movement, and special awareness. And dance has also brought her positive thinking, creativity in terms of impacting positively on an economy like St. Kitts and Nevis, which at the moment is impacted by COVID-19. What then do I mean by creative economy that is tied up with this young lady and her dancing? The concept of creative economy is really built on human creativity and ideas, intellectual property, knowledge, and technology, all of which young people go for. It's the now and future economy of St. Kitts and Nevis, built around the creative power and technological pursuits of our own youth here in our country. Tajanik, you also aspire to be a lawyer, we are told. And so I ask you, why not think of specializing in intellectual property or copyright law for the future? Again, we recognize that entertainment is an industry that needs support for its development and expansion here in St. Kitts and Nevis and the region. Why not use your innate talent and skills, Tejanik, in dancing, and your future career in law to help guide, develop, advise, and represent your fellow artists and entertainers to realize their true economic and financial potential here in our country? I end by asking you to think on these things. I also end by challenging you to dance your way into a brighter future. Dance your way to help open up doors and realize dreams of our young people here in St. Kitts and Nevis, especially in entertainment. Please, I ask you, Tajanik, to go for it. I back in you, so go for it. That's why I am so proud to present to her this award for dance. Thank you.
Congratulations, Tajanik. Thank you, Right Honorable Dr. Denzel Douglas. If time did permit, I might have called on you to show us a few dance moves, but time is not permitting that tonight, sir. It's limited, yes. I'm sure Tajanik might have learned something from you. I'm sure. Honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, we move on. Next award is Miss Hadassah Coffee, and her profile will be read by Miss Stapleton.
Mr. Speaker, with pleasure, I introduce Miss Hadassah Coffee. Intellectually sound, ambitious, and proud are just a few words befitting of Hadassah Coffee, the 17-year-old scholar who is poised to catapult in all her educational pursuits. Hadassah has her eyes set on attending university to pursue her career in law. The future attorney is already well on her way to accomplishing this dream through her academic successes so far. Hadassah maintains good grades, so much so that she is consistently that she consistently earns one of the top 3 places on the principal's list of her entire secondary school career. Grounded in the belief that she must always aim for the highest scores, Hadassah sets high academic standards and does not allow herself to fall below those standards. A proud Bastia High School student exhibits pride in everything she does. Hadassah never hesitates to represent her school in competitions. Hadassah receives awards for her entries in the Queen's Commonwealth Essay Competition. In 2017, she won the Gold Award in the junior category, and in 2018, she won the Silver Award in the senior category. Then, she won the Gold Award in 2019 in the senior category, and then finally, in 2020, she won the Silver Award in the senior category. Likewise, in 2020, Hadassah entered the CARICOM Competition Commission, CCC, Regional Essay Writing Competition, and won first place writer for the 12 to 15 years old category. There is no stopping Hadassah in her pursuit of academic excellence. She has already built a firm foundation on dedication and hard work, which is fundamental for her scholarly success. Congratulations are extended to Hadassah for receiving a 25 Most Remarkable Teen Award in the category of academics. May it please you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Ms. Stapleton. Honorable Member for Nevis 9, Mr. Mark Banter, you will make a presentation to Ms. Coffey.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it gives me great pleasure to rise again on this occasion to recognize and to celebrate Ms. Hadassah Coffey. As I read the profile, I was particularly impressed by this young lady because she is intellectually sound, that is clear. She has competed and won in so many essay competitions, most specifically the Queen's Commonwealth Essay Competition and a CARICOM competition. She has her own business and has been in business since she has been quite young. She is an actress and has acted and won school drama competition. We're told she was awarded the best actress. So even before she started out, she's already winning awards for her acting. She, in addition to all that, is a Christian and has been volunteering at church. And we're told she wants to study law. Now, I used to be a lawyer myself, so I think it is a very noble profession. It is one that I would encourage you, Hadassah, to pursue. And the thing about law is that acting comes in very useful. So I believe that they go hand in glove. I'm particularly happy, however, because I believe, as the Federation knows, we have all been working very hard on developing a film industry in the Federation. And so, Hadassah, you may not have to go too far to get your first acting gig. You might be able to do it right here in St. Kitts and Nevis in due course. And so I would want to wish you well. I believe that you are well on your way to being excellent at whatever you decide to do. And I hope in the fullness of time that if I have any legal issues, that you will represent me and you will remember that I spoke nicely of you here so that you can speak nicely of me there. Thank you very much. Ms. Hadassah Coffey being awarded as one of the 25 most remarkable teens for academics.
Congrats again, Hadassah. Thank you, Honorable Mark Brantley. Hadassah bear in mind two things. He said he used to be a lawyer, and he also added, lawyers are good actors. Put the two together and then you will figure it out. You did not say that. I misquoted you. Miss Cecil Angel is the next awardee up. Mr. Cecil Angel is the next awardee up. Mr. Jalen Munzak will read his profile.
Mr. Speaker, with pleasure, I introduce Mr. Cecil Angel. 18-year-old Cecil Angel is known in the basketball arena as a beast on the court. This is so because of his natural ability to command the court and dominate. Cecil has played basketball for most of his life. He recalls going to the basketball court in his community with his older brother when he was just 5 years old. It was here that Cecil developed his love and passion for basketball. Cecil's accomplishments in the sport are noteworthy. He is the captain of the Birdwalk Uprisers Basketball Club and was named the club's top junior player. Cecil led his team to victory in the SKABA Junior Tournament in 2020. He also led his team to win the Under-17 tournament in 2016. Cecil copped a number of awards over the years, ranging from most points to most steals, most assists, and even most rebounds, and most recently, most valuable player for this year's regular season in the junior division. Every team that Cecil plays with, whether it is his school's team, where he is the captain, or his community team, has won the competition or finishes among the top 3 teams in the tournament. It is also customary for Cecil to cop the top awards in the game. He has been named the most valuable player 5 times to date. Similarly, Cecil dominated the Department of Sports Basketball School League, where he amassed over 100 points throughout the games and received the most points award. The name Cecil Angel will soon become a household name in basketball in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Cecil's drive to become a better player is paving the way for his success in basketball. No matter his size, the barriers or challenges he faces, Cecil continues to rise to the occasion and makes the perfect shot. He's a top scorer, worthy of being named one of St. Kitts and Nevis's most remarkable teams in the category of basketball. May it please you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Jalen. The Honorable Lindsey Grant will make the presentation to Cecil.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise for the second and final time this evening to present the award to Cecil Angel in the area of sports and more particularly basketball. I don't profess to know the young man, but I can tell you when he rose from one chair walking to the other, his demeanor struck me as looking like one of those NBA stars. But what did not strike me is what's reflected here in the profile when it says that on the basketball court, he is known as the beast on the court. I don't see the bestiality in him, but I suspect when he's on the court, the adrenaline is flowing and that he is different natured or differently natured on the court. When we look at his accomplishments, Mr. Speaker, I mean, he has run the gamut. Captain of the Birdwalk Uprisers Basketball Club. He has literally won every tournament it appears that he has been in. And when you look at the awards that he's copped over the years, most steals, most assists, most rebounds, MVP, I mean, it goes on and on and on and on. And it appears as though he is destined for greatness in basketball. I want to tell him to keep it up, to stay focused, stay grounded in what he wants to achieve. But in all the greatness of the profile, one thing struck me, Mr. Speaker, is his grounding, and he knows what he wants. It says that the one thing he wants to do, and for me is very, very important, is to make his mother proud. To make his mother proud. And he says that his mother, who is a single mother, has sacrificed so much for him that he can't disappoint her. He wants to do everything and do it proudly for her. That's remarkable. So very often, we don't do the things necessary to make our loved ones proud after they would have done and sacrificed so much for us. So for that, I'm proud of you, Cecil. But his basketball skills is not all, because as I also glean, he's an academic. And so that again is something that we should cherish and something that is very important, that he can balance the academics with his sporting prowess. I end by saying, Mr. Speaker, that I think they shortchanged him here in the profile, because in the profile it says in the last paragraph, it says that Cecil will soon become a household name in basketball in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. But I dare say with what I'm seeing here on paper, the young man is not only going to make us proud in St. Kitts and Nevis, but I think somewhere shortly we will see him on the international stage playing basketball. And so, in presenting this award to Cecil as one of the 25 most remarkable teens in St. Kitts and Nevis, November 2021, in the area of sports and more particularly basketball, I want to say to you, Cecil, stay focused, stay grounded, and the future is bright for you and is all yours. So keep it up. Thank you.